The J. Michael Show.
Welcome to the show. We have a very unusual show for you today. And if you are listening to this podcast rather than watching it, I would invite you to come over to YouTube because you're going to want to see this. He is amazing. We have magician Bruce Chadwick with us today. He's going to do some tricks for us. But first, let's welcome Bruce to the show. Thank you so much
it's an honor.
for coming here. And you did a trick for me outside. It was awesome. I could not believe my eyes. And I want you to do some magic for us.
Well, I'll be happy to.
Okay.
Well, this is a very, very strange little item. This is one of the favorite tricks that we sell in our magic shop at Fort Worth. The shop is called Illusion Warehouse, illusionwarehouse.com. But 2 cards and a match. And of course, when I sell this trick to kids, I always tell them, please don't play with matches at home.
Right.
Go to your friend's house and do it. But this is me.
Right.
Watch the match.
Okay.
Keep your eye on that.
Let's see.
Are you in
Yeah,
there?
you're right there where we can see you.
All right. A little balancing act.
Okay.
I tell you, you're very impressed. Watch. And if you
wow.
can see that,
You can see the matches lifting up. Wow. 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 That was awesome. That was totally awesome.
people say it's not so much how do you do that, it's more like why do you do that? But that's just me. Hey, let me show you a card trick.
Okay.
This is what we call the world's worst card trick.
The world's worst card trick.
Yeah. So I've got a
Okay,
deck
I'm
of
gonna.
cards.
Yeah, let's move your hands
see
down
that?
if you can, so we can see you.
All right.
Okay, you got a deck of cards and there's nothing on them.
Yeah, this is the world's worst card trick because you choose a card.
Uh-huh.
I try to find it. It's my word against yours.
Okay.
Okay, that was the joke. You just have to think about that.
Right.
The funny thing about this deck of blank cards is, though, that if you think about a card, it appears.
Oh, wow. Wow, there it is.
And if you think about a different card,
Uh-huh.
it appears.
Oh, wow.
But the moment you stop thinking,
Uh-huh.
at college, they melt away.
They're gone completely.
Let's try that again.
Okay, let's see that
Think about
again.
a little card.
Yeah, keep your hands
Push it
kind of
down.
low. We can see. Yeah.
Of course nothing there. A little tap, we actually put a card on the back of the deck.
Oh, goodness.
So now it looks like a deck of cards.
Uh-huh.
It's not. There's nothing there. We give those cards a little shake like so. And doggone, if you don't have a whole deck of cards you can use for your next card trick.
That is amazing.
You know the bad part about that, though?
What's that?
Well, you've got to keep thinking. If you ever stop thinking, that's when a card disappears. And if one disappears, then they all disappear. And you're back where you started with the blank deck of playing cards.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is, and of course you don't explain how you do these things.
No, but if you go to the website, you can buy it. I assure
Oh,
you.
and then
Yeah.
it will tell you how you do that.
Yeah, I've been performing magic illusions since I was about 8 years old. And,
Uh-huh.
back in 1996, we opened a magic shop, and I perform as well as sell magic tricks and so forth. And this is a very
You have
unusual
another
thing.
one?
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
let's see what you're going to do with this.
I'm sure most of you saw the movie Ghostbusters.
Uh-huh. Just kind of keep it low because we're pointed at the table here.
Well, this
There
is
we
a
go.
handkerchief.
If
I
you
call this
can.
the ghost catcher.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But in the movie Ghostbusters, at the very beginning of the movie, it's a library scene. And in that library, a ghost appears.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the ghost winds up sliming everything.
Right.
But there's a substance called ectoplasm.
Uh-huh.
And that's the slime that's used. And you put that inside the handkerchief and a little bit more inside the handkerchief.
Okay.
And if you do that right, a very strange thing happens. Watch.
I'm watching. What's
you
going to
see that?
happen? I didn't. What did it do?
Well,
It's
doing that
moving. It's moving. Oh, wow. Now, I'm actually here. I know you're watching on video, but I'm here and I'm seeing this happen. There's no hoses. There's no strings. There's nothing. There's nothing there that would make that.
People always say, what is going on under the covers? That's very strange, because if you take a look, you discover nothing.
There's nothing there.
Because we all know that ghosts are invisible.
Wow. That is incredible. It's incredible. Bruce, have a seat. Let's change our camera angles around a little here. And I'm going to just pick this up where I can see you. I know this is live TV, or almost live TV. Almost live recorded kind of live TV. Let me get you in focus here. And, oh goodness. I think that is it. I'm pretty sure. Just look right at me there. There you go. Okay, now, switching over to this view, which is that little camera. You have an illusion shop in Fort Worth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you sell magic, and you've been a magician for a while. You've also created magician devices or whatever for other magicians.
Yeah, that started way back when I was finishing my graduate degree in theater arts from Baylor University, where I started designing and building stage illusion effects for other performers, and that evolved into working for the television and movie industries as a special effects design consultant.
Wow.
So the building we have in Fort Worth actually was set up originally as a manufacturing facility. And primarily I was working with Warner Brothers Germany, and of course flying back and forth to Germany helping design special effects.
Right.
And so that evolved. We wound up buying the building at a later time, and we've been there ever since. We opened the actual retail area of the shop in 1996. Okay. So it's been around for a while.
Just making sure that this camera, because we moved it, and if you move something, you know, you can get out of. I'm gonna just go with that. I can't really tell. My eyes aren't that good. I'm gonna go with that now.
All right.
Okay. Now you designed special effects for movies too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about some movies that you did.
Well, we did a lot of work for Warner Brothers. We did a lot of work for their theme park shows. We helped work on the first Batmobile. It was in one of the first Batmobile or Batman movies.
Okay, are we talking about the 1966 Batmobile, or are we talking about
we're talking about the later Warner Brothers films.
Okay, all right.
Michael Keaton's
Keaton's car.
Those types of people.
Okay.
Yeah,
what did you do on those cars?
We helped build the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you had to build tricks into it? You had to build systems?
It was just special effects for the television.
The fire comes out the back. And
here's an example. There was a scene that was done in a movie where the director wanted a big, gigantic, shiny metal buffalo head to appear, something 5-6 foot in diameter.
Right.
So we designed the idea of how that would work. Nowadays, that's easy. In fact, what we were doing back then is nothing compared to what you could do with CGI today.
Yeah.
So it was a different period.
Right.
But we designed that so it appeared on stage, and big glowing eyes and blowing fire at its horns and so forth. So stuff like that.
And it had to emerge from the car.
It actually came from a cave. It was actually a scenic piece, and it came from out of the cave and appeared. It was the spirit of an Indian warrior sort of thing, as I understand. There's a lot of things that we built and designed and how it was integrated into the films later. Sometimes we never knew how they were going to use it. We want to be able to do this, so we would figure out how to do this.
So how did you transition from special effects in movies and stuff to actual magic?
Well, I've always performed. I started when I was 8 years old. And knew at the moment I saw my first magic trick, that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And I have done that.
Wow.
So I've made a career self-employed as an illusionist, designer, and special effects consultant, and chief cook and bottle washer.
Yeah, kind of have to wear all the hats.
You do indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you've been doing it since you were 8 years old. I'm not going to ask you your age, but you're...
Oh, I'm 39.
Oh, you're 39 now.
Ish.
Okay. Well, you told me, so that's okay.
Ish.
and you have a Curiosity Illusion warehouse in Fort Worth. Where's that at?
It's 3917 McCart.
Uh-huh.
It's about 3 blocks north of Seminary. It's in South Fort Worth, about 2 miles north of Interstate 20. So, standalone building, little nondescript building there.
So anybody can come by and see you and buy magic too.
The store is open to the public. It's a part-time store. It's not open, 40 hours a week, but it's open in the afternoons, usually during the week and Saturday mornings.
You're right.
Open enough to suffice the curiosity seekers in the world of magic. Sure.
Okay, so you're also on the road though. You take your magic show. You're going to do one here today. You take it on the road. What kind of tricks do you do for people when they do that?
I call myself a comedy magician, illusionist, sleight-of-hand artist. So most of the work that we do, or as I'm doing at my age, is what magicians would call stand-up magic. And it's a suitcase-sized magic effects that are transportable, very entertaining, very well routined. I work in a script format where I have what I'm going to say actually memorized.
Yeah.
And, like an actor would bring to life a script, written by a playwright. So, yeah.
Where have you, where have you done some of these shows?
Well, I've been all over the world in my career, all over the United States. We've almost hit every state in the United States. Of course, I've been to Mexico and West Africa. I've been all over Europe, England, France, Germany. Wow. Done work in Japan, Thailand. Just
have you ever performed with other illusionists? Maybe someone famous?
Only at magicians' conventions where they'll have an evening show with multiple performers. We've been on those types of shows.
So they have magicians conventions where so what do you do at one of these conventions? You get together and say, I've got this cool new trick, let me show you how it's done?
Well, it's each convention is a little bit different. There are some standard things that a lot of the conventions do. For example, most of them will have evening shows which are open to the public, so theater shows. But during the day there can be anything from lectures where a magician will get up and teach something about magic and a new effect or routining or handling of a prop. Sometimes there are contests.
Right.
There are close-up magic shows, which is the type of magic that we just did here on your podcast, for example. Stuff that has to be, it's not large enough to be seen for a big audience, but it's designed for one-on-one or one in a small group. There are usually big, huge rooms that we call the dealer's room, where magic shop and manufacturers will come in from around the country and display their wares. So it's a mixed bag of a lot of different things. There are contests that happen at magic conventions where people are competing for trophies and prize money and so forth.
But you have also created illusions for other magicians.
Yeah, that's a big thing that we've done for a long time.
Something maybe the audience has seen and they wonder how it's done.
Oh, you've seen it. The problem with it is that I'm not allowed to really tell you that we created so-and-so for such and such performer. For the most part, a lot of times our work is custom-built work where a performer will come to us and say, hey, I want to accomplish X, Y, Z. Right. And then we design and figure out how to do that. But we've built a lot of stuff for some big names in the world of magic and a lot of people that are not big names that...
I got to ask a question here, and that is, when you have an illusionist or magician that does something like makes the Eiffel Tower disappear or the Empire State Building disappear, I know you can't tell us how it's done.
Well, I don't know. The other day I made the sun disappear.
You made this, we're having storms today. Thank you very much.
No, I'm talking about the eclipse the other day. One of the comedy things, you take advantage of things like that sometimes. So.
Yeah. But these illusions that are done like that, they're done on such a grand scale. If you could answer this, what we see is big curtain and there's, the Eiffel Tower or whatever, and then they drop the curtain and the Eiffel Tower is gone. Behind it, is it actually something simple or is it very elaborate?
Well, again, that's also a mixed bag. In magic or magic illusion, it would be a proper way of saying that. Usually the simpler the effect, the simpler the secret. And the simpler the secret, the stronger the effect is.
Right.
When you start adding together a lot of theatrics, such as the lighting, the sound, curtain, scenery, and that sort of thing, it's spectacular.
It gets complicated.
It can get very complicated. It's a theatrical special effect, obviously. Right. Now, at the same time, when you sit down with someone and show them a card trick, it's a different type of form of illusion and entertainment.
And it's a lot closer and it's a lot more personal.
A lot of times people prefer that versus going to see a lot of the television programs that you've seen over the past several years have been people doing close-up sleight of hand, street magic, so to speak, where you're walking around and performing one-on-one or one to small group versus the elaborate theater shows that you might see in Las Vegas or Branson or places like that.
And when you go to like Branson or Las Vegas, I assume that they're doing the same tricks every night for different audiences. So it's all pre-set up. It's
you have
ready
to think
go.
along the lines of a magic show or a magic theatrical production as being a play.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same as, say, a Broadway play. I mean, it's scripted, choreography, costumes, lights, scenery, the whole 9 yards that work together to create the overall show. So
and have you worked on some of these shows?
Oh, sure.
So any particular show you can mention?
Some of the Vegas shows I've helped out with over the years, and the magicians usually don't stay in one place.
I realize I'm asking a magician to reveal things, so I'm having to be careful what I ask, So if someone goes to Fort Worth, finds your shop, do you do magic in your shop for people?
Oh, a lot of the things that we have for sale we can demonstrate. Now, there are things that we can't demonstrate because of various reasons, but you can go to our website, illusionwarehouse.com. I mentioned that earlier, and that has most of the items we have for sale. And you can order online, and the prices include shipping, so it's a very simple thing to do.
Okay. Are illusions and tricks copywritten or trademarked, whereas you couldn't do it, but someone else can?
Two things there. One, sometimes magic tricks are patented, and so they're protected by the U.S. and world patent systems, which generally means now if you do create something and patent it, the patent's good for 20 years, and it can be extended a couple of years in certain situations. But beyond that, the item really becomes intellectual property that's released to the general public. Now, there are routines and so forth that magicians use. Their patter, for example. If you write a play, you have a script.
Right.
Well, you have copyrighted that script. You own that script. So some of the magicians will copyright their presentations and so forth.
Right. And if someone revealed another magician's trick, what happens? You sue them?
In the world of illusion, once you're deep into the art, there's not that much that you don't know. Magic is more of a performance art than it is everything else. It's not so much how does a person do something, but how do they present it? How do they routine it? What's the artistic element? Anyone can walk into a magic shop and buy a magic trick and do it, but it's presented at that point usually as a puzzle. But it takes a true artist to take a theatrical prop, a magic trick, and turn it into a performance art piece. It's the same thing like you have someone who knows how to play the violin, and they play, and they're a good musician, but then you have someone who's a master take up that same instrument and turn it into a really artful presentation.
Virtuoso.
Yes, absolutely.
They're virtuoso magicians.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this has been incredible. Bruce, thank you so much for being my guest.
Sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
And I hope that I can watch and see more of your magic.
All right. Sounds
You're
like
an
a plan.
amazing person.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.